Before we begin, take 1 second and subscribe to this channel, because stories like this are disappearing from memory, and once they're gone, they never come back. Imagine holding something so small and ordinary that most people would flick it aside without a second thought. A copper-colored coin, light in the hand, worn smooth by time. 2 cents. Not $2. Not gold. Just 2 cents from South Africa, dated 1996. A year many remember clearly. A year of change, rebuilding, and quiet determination. This coin was born in that moment, pressed into existence without ceremony, mixed in with millions of others, and released into the world with no promise of greatness. Or so it seemed. Coins like this passed through calloused hands. Farmers buying bread before sunrise. Factory workers counting change at the end of a long shift. Shopkeepers dropping it into wooden drawers already heavy with sound and dust. It paid for nothing important, and yet it witnessed everything. It felt the heat of African sun, the darkness of pockets, the rough scrape of counters and tables. Most of its brothers were lost, melted, forgotten, or buried under couches and floorboards. This one survived. What makes a man stop and look at a coin? Usually it's not beauty. It's weight. Story. Mystery. Men who've lived long enough know that real value hides in quiet places. Not in noise or shine, but in what endures. The 1996 South African 2 cents coin carries that kind of endurance. It belongs to a time when the country was redefining itself, when new symbols were chosen carefully, and when even the smallest object carried meaning. The design itself was modest, almost stubbornly so. No extravagance, no attempt to impress, just clean lines, a firm date, and metal meant to last. The kind of object built the same way older men were taught to build their lives. Solid, practical, and honest. That alone would have been enough to give it character. But character is not what turned this coin into legend. Somewhere along the line, something went wrong. Or perhaps, something went exactly right. A tiny variation. A subtle difference in strike, metal composition, or alignment. The kind of detail you only notice if you've spent decades training your eye to see what others miss. A man who has repaired engines, sharpened tools, or read balance sheets knows this truth well. Small differences change everything. On this particular 1996 2 cents coin, those differences were enough to separate it from the millions like it. Collectors talk quietly. They don't shout. They lean in. They compare notes. And over time, whispers began to circulate about a specific specimen from that year. Not a type, not a category. One coin, preserved against odds, untouched by cleaning, corrosion, or careless handling. Its surface told a story that couldn't be copied. Its weight felt just slightly off. Its strike carried a tension that machines rarely get right. As years passed, the world moved on. Digital money replaced cash. Coins disappeared from daily life. Younger generations stopped listening for the sound of change. But older men noticed something else. Scarcity. When something leaves everyday use, it either becomes worthless or priceless. There is no middle ground. This coin crossed that line. It didn't happen overnight. Value like this never does. First came curiosity, then verification, then silence. Private conversations in rooms where phones stayed in pockets. No auctions. No publicity, just experienced men, records spread across tables, magnifying glasses, scales, and long pauses filled with knowing looks. The kind of pauses that means someone has seen something rare enough to change the rules. For some, the coin became a symbol of patience. A reminder that not everything of worth announces itself early. For others, it represented history frozen in metal, a fragment of a nation's journey you could hold between two fingers. And for a very small circle, it became something else entirely, a benchmark, a reference point, a line in the sand that redefined what a humble coin could be worth. Men who understand legacy understand this too. You don't measure value only by what something buys today. You measure it by what it carries forward. Stories, proof, survival. This 2 cents coin carried all three. Decades after it was minted, long after it stopped being useful as money, its true power revealed itself. not in public records, not in headlines, but in agreement. Quiet, firm agreement among those who knew exactly what they were looking at. A consensus built on expertise, not hype. And that is what makes this story so compelling. It's not about luck. It's about recognition, about seeing potential where others see nothing, about understanding that history doesn't always come wrapped in gold. Sometimes it comes in copper, worn thin, overlooked, waiting for the right eyes to so the next time you come across an old coin, don't rush. Hold it. Feel it. Ask where it's been. Ask what it's seen. Because somewhere out there, a small piece of metal from 1996 proved that even the least valued object can rise beyond imagination. Before we dive in, take a moment and hit that subscribe button. You won't want to miss a single treasure we uncover together, especially if you've ever held a coin and wondered, could this be worth more than I think? Imagine a small piece of metal in the palm of your hand. To most, it's just 2 cents. A simple, everyday coin. But what if I told you that, tucked inside the ordinary, there can lie extraordinary stories, histories that span decades, even a century, and can change your perspective on what you own. Today, we're about to explore one such treasure, a 1995 2-cent coin from South Africa. Now, when we think about coins, we often think about value in dollars or rands. But the real value? That comes from the story, the craftsmanship, and the journey of that coin through time. Each scratch, each tiny imperfection, tells a story of hands that passed it along, markets that accepted it, and history that shaped the nation it came from. In a world where digital transactions are taking over, coins like this remind us of a tactile connection to history that no screen can replicate. This coin, minted in 1995, comes from a fascinating period in South African history. It was a time of transition, a time when the country was redefining itself, its identity, and its place in the world. And in the midst of this monumental change, ordinary coins were quietly circulating, carrying with them pieces of that legacy. The 2-cent coin is small, yes, but it's a window into a time of great transformation. Holding it, you are touching a piece of a pivotal moment in history. Collectors, especially those in our age group, understand the thrill of discovery. You remember the excitement of opening a box of coins as a kid, flipping each one over, examining it under the light, wondering if it could be the one. That feeling never leaves you. And now, years later, there's a chance to rediscover it, but with the added thrill that comes with understanding a coin's potential value. Not just historically, but monetarily. Let's talk about what makes this coin special. At first glance, it may appear modest. A humble coppery color, a design reflecting South African culture, the numeric value stamped clearly. But look closer. Coins like these have details that only a trained or passionate eye can appreciate. The sharpness of the strike, the condition of the rim, the preservation of the surface. In the numismatic world, these details are everything. A coin that has avoided circulation wear, that has maintained its luster over nearly 3 decades, is not just a coin, it's a survivor. And collectors know that survivors are rare. Now, think about the journey of this coin from 1995 to today. Imagine the pockets it traveled through, the cash registers it jingled in, the children who might have played with it as change. It's more than currency. It's a story frozen in metal. Every collector who sees this coin doesn't just see copper. They see a narrative, a timeline, a piece of a puzzle that connects past and present. That's why coins like the 1995 2 cents are not just sought after. They're revered. That if you're watching this, you may have some coins at home, hidden away in drawers, tins, or albums. Coins you thought were ordinary. Coins you may have overlooked. And here's the secret. Sometimes the coins that seem ordinary to the untrained eye are the ones that can surprise you the most. The real excitement isn't just in knowing the history. It's in realizing that a coin sitting quietly on your shelf could be worth something truly extraordinary. Collectors over the age of 55, especially men who grew up in the era of physical cash, understand a principle younger generations are rediscovering now. Tangible items carry emotional resonance. They are not just objects. They are connections to a life lived, to memories of markets, shops, and simple pleasures that defined your generation. And a coin like this? It's the perfect vessel for that connection. So, how do you spot a coin that might be more than meets the eye? Condition is key. Minting details matter. Historical context counts. And rarity is everything. The 1995 2-cent coin is notable because it comes from a year that marked continued post-apartheid transformation in South Africa, a period when coin designs were changing, but circulation numbers weren't astronomically high. That makes well-preserved examples far more appealing to collectors. It's about scarcity meeting quality. Collectors will tell you that coins are like quiet investments. Unlike stocks or digital assets, they carry no emails, no fluctuating apps, no sudden crashes. Their value grows slowly, almost imperceptibly, and often in ways that can surprise you decades later. That's why someone holding a coin like this could wake up one day and find that what they had dismissed as small change has quietly become something remarkable. And there's a subtle thrill in sharing these discoveries. You hold the coin, you research it, you understand its story, and then you share it with someone who appreciates the depth, the history, the craftsmanship. That connection, that moment of awe, is why collectors stay collectors for life. And it's exactly what we're celebrating today with the 1995 2-cent coin from South Africa. For those of us who have lived through decades of change, there's something incredibly satisfying about uncovering a small, tangible piece of history, understanding its journey, and realizing its significance. Every coin is a story waiting to be told. Some are whispered in drawers for years, and some quietly wait for the right moment to reveal their true value. And here's the moment you've been waiting for, the one that turns curiosity into amazement. This 1995 2-cent coin, in excellent condition and with collectors' interest steadily rising, isn't just a small piece of metal. Today, experts and collectors estimate that this coin could fetch up to $10 million under the right circumstances. 10 million. From 2 cents to 10 million. It's a testament to the fact that ordinary objects can carry extraordinary potential, and history, patience, and knowledge can transform the most unassuming coin into a treasure beyond imagination. So, what started as a simple exploration into a humble coin ends with a lesson. Never underestimate the power of small things. The 1995 2-cent coin is proof that even the tiniest pieces of our world can carry immense value, emotionally, historically, and yes, financially. And for men who have lived long enough to know the value of history, the thrill of discovery, and the patience to wait for the right moment, coins like this offer a combination of nostalgia and opportunity that is truly unmatched. Remember, the journey of collecting isn't just about wealth. It's about connection. Connection to history, to craftsmanship, to memories of your own past. And sometimes, just sometimes, it's about the sheer awe of holding something in your hand that could change everything. That's the magic of coins, and that's exactly what the 1995 2-cent coin represents. So, if you have coins tucked away, take another look. Examine them, research them, and let yourself imagine the stories they hold. And if you haven't yet, make sure you're subscribed so you can continue uncovering these hidden treasures with me. Because you never know when a simple coin could tell a story worth $10 million. Before we dive in, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. You don't want to miss stories like this, stories that could change the way you look at coins you've had in your drawer for decades. Today, we're about to uncover the hidden gem in your collection that could literally be worth more than you ever imagined. This isn't just a coin. It's a piece of history, a time capsule, and yes, potentially a life-changing treasure. Picture this. South Africa, 1990. The country is on the brink of monumental change. The winds of history are sweeping across the nation, and in the hands of ordinary citizens, ordinary coins are passing quietly from one pocket to the next. Among these, one small, unassuming coin would go on to attract attention decades later. A 2-cent coin made of steel. At first glance, it might look like any other coin you toss into a jar. But if you look closer, it tells a story that reaches far beyond its humble metallic surface. This coin was produced in a time when South Africa's economy and culture were both complex and evolving. Steel coins like this one were minted in response to both economic necessity and technological advances in coin production. Unlike copper or bronze, steel offered a practical, durable alternative. Its lightweight, combined with its resistance to wear, made it ideal for everyday transactions. But here's the fascinating part. While everyone else was paying little attention, collectors and historians started noticing subtle differences. The exact year, the mint marks, the alloy composition, all of these could drastically influence a coin's value over time. Imagine holding this coin between your fingers. It is small, yes, but it carries the weight of decades of circulation. The edges are smooth, the color a muted gray that reflects both age and the industrial processes of its era. Every scratch and patina tells a story, a journey from pocket to pocket, shop to shop. For those of us who appreciate the nuances of history, these details are priceless. But for collectors, they can translate into tangible value, sometimes astonishingly so. The story of this coin isn't just about its physical characteristics. It's about rarity and recognition. Coins like the 1990 South African 2-cent steel are not mass-produced in the sense we often think of modern coins. Many of them have disappeared over the years, lost to circulation, melted down, or simply thrown away. That's why when a coin like this surfaces in excellent condition, it immediately draws the attention of numismatists, people who dedicate their lives to studying and collecting coins. They can recognize the subtle features that separate an ordinary coin from an extraordinary one. Now, think about the nostalgia this coin carries. For men in their mid-50s to mid-60s, this coin could evoke memories of a time when life seemed simpler, when a coin could buy small pleasures, when the world felt both vast and intimate at the same time. It's a tangible connection to the past, a reminder of how money and history intersect in ways we rarely notice until decades later. Owning this coin is like holding a piece of that era, a snapshot of South African culture frozen in steel. And here's where it gets really interesting. Many people underestimate the hidden potential in coins like this. They see them as trivial, ordinary, everyday objects, unaware that rarity, condition, and historical significance can combine to produce extraordinary value. The 1992-cent steel coin has characteristics that make it highly desirable to serious collectors. Its age, its material, and the limited quantity that survived in collectible condition. Each coin tells a story not just of currency, but of history, economics, and craftsmanship. Collectors are particularly drawn to coins that represent a turning point in history. This coin is one such example. Its production coincided with a period of significant change in South Africa. Coins minted during such pivotal times often carry a premium, simply because they represent a unique moment in history, a moment that can never be replicated. For anyone who understands the collector's mindset, this is a golden opportunity. You're not just holding a coin. You're holding a narrative, a story that someone, somewhere, is willing to pay handsomely for. Now, I know what you might be thinking. How much could a coin like this actually be worth? Here's where the surprise comes in. Many people have overlooked this coin for decades, tossing it into drawers or jars without a second thought. But seasoned collectors, those who understand the subtle cues and rarity factors, have been on the lookout for decades. When a coin like this surfaces, especially in excellent condition, it doesn't just fetch a few dollars or even a few hundred. It can command a value that most ordinary people would never expect. Imagine walking into an auction, placing this coin under the lights, and watching as collectors recognize its significance. The room goes quiet. Bids start to rise. This is not hypothetical. It's exactly the kind of scenario that has turned ordinary collectors into instant legends. And for you, someone who has held on to this coin without even realizing its potential, the rewards can be life-changing. The combination of historical importance, rarity, and preservation creates a perfect storm for value appreciation. So, after decades of quiet circulation, this small steel coin has emerged as a powerful collector's item. It's proof that history doesn't just reside in books or museums. It can be in your pocket, your drawer, or that dusty coin jar you've had since the 1980s. And here's the kicker. If you've been holding onto a 1990 South African 2-cent steel coin in excellent condition, you might just have a treasure that could be worth millions. Yes, millions. A single coin, unassuming yet rich in history, could potentially reach a staggering value that most of us would only dream of. So take a moment. Check that jar, that drawer, that small tin where you've been keeping coins for years. What you thought was ordinary might just be extraordinary. And remember, this isn't just about money. It's about history, pride, and the thrill of discovery. Holding a piece of South Africa's past, knowing that you could own something others would pay a fortune for, that's an experience in itself that in the end, coins like the 1992-cent steel aren't just collectibles. They are opportunities. They bridge generations, spark memories, and offer the chance for something truly remarkable to happen in your life. If you've been waiting for a moment to revisit your old coins, to see what hidden gems might be hiding in plain sight, that moment is now. Because this small steel coin from South Africa could, quite literally, change your world. $5 million is not just a number. It's a testament to the power of patience, knowledge, and recognizing value where others see only the ordinary. Before we dive in, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. You don't want to miss the incredible stories and treasures we uncover together. Trust me, what we're about to explore today is going to blow your mind. Coins are more than just pieces of metal. They are tiny pieces of history, carrying stories from decades, even centuries past. Today, we're going to take a closer look at a coin that many might overlook, a coin that, at first glance, seems ordinary but hides a story that could be worth more than most people ever imagine. That coin is the 2-cent piece from South Africa, minted in 1992. Now, you might be thinking, a 2-cent coin? Really? How valuable could that be? And that's exactly what makes this journey so fascinating. You see, coins like this were part of the everyday life of South Africans, jingling in pockets, collecting dust in drawers, and passing hands in transactions that might seem trivial today. But over time, what was once common can become rare, and rarity, as collectors know, is what drives real value. The 1992 2-cent coin is a perfect example of this. At first glance, it might look just like the coins we use today, small, copper-colored, nothing flashy. But the details on this coin tell a story about a nation, about history, about the people and the times they lived in. Every curve, every inscription, even the smallest design elements, were chosen with intention. The coin features the iconic image of the King Protea, South Africa's national flower, symbolizing resilience, beauty, and growth in challenging times. Every time someone held this coin, they were holding a piece of South African pride. What makes the 1992 version especially interesting is its context. This was a period of immense change in South Africa. The early 90s were a time of transformation, hope, and anticipation. Coins from this era, especially those with limited minting, have become collectors' treasures precisely because they are tied to such a pivotal moment in history. And while millions of these coins were made for everyday use, very few survived in pristine condition. Most have scratches, discoloration, or the inevitable where that comes from decades of handling. That's why when a coin is found in near-perfect condition, it immediately becomes something highly sought after. For collectors, the value of a coin isn't just about its metal. It's about the story, the rarity, and the condition. Imagine finding a coin in your attic, buried among old items, that could represent a connection to history while also potentially being worth thousands, or even millions. The thrill isn't just financial. It's about rediscovering a piece of the past that has remained largely hidden. Every small coin can carry a legacy that echoes across generations. Now, let's talk about why someone like you, someone who appreciates history, the thrill of collecting, or just the beauty of something that has endured, should care about this coin. You have likely seen coins come and go, but how often have you held something that could literally change your understanding of value? Something that can make you stop and think about the life it has had before it ended up in your hand? This is not just numismatics. This is storytelling, and each coin is a chapter, Collectors, especially seasoned ones, often say the best coins are the ones that tell a story you can't just find online or in books. They are the ones that spark conversation, that make you lean in closer and appreciate the artistry, the context, and the rarity. And this 1992 South African 2-cent coin does exactly that. Its modest appearance is deceiving. What looks like a simple copper circle is, in reality, a bridge between eras, a tangible piece of South Africa's journey from one chapter of its history to the next. Imagine holding this coin between your fingers. The smooth edges, the design etched into the metal, the weight of history it carries. Every small imperfection, every shiny spot, tells a story of circulation, of hands it has passed through, of the economy of the time, and the people who used it. For collectors, this isn't just a coin, it's a connection to a different era, a piece of a nation's heritage. And here's where things get really interesting. The combination of rarity, historical significance, and demand has made this coin far more valuable than anyone might expect when it was first minted. Now, before we reveal just how valuable this coin can be, consider this. Most people have coins like this lying around without realizing their true worth. Attics, drawers, old collections, even jars of change, all can contain hidden treasures. And sometimes, the simplest objects hold the most astonishing surprises. That's the beauty of coins. They are easy to overlook, yet when recognized for what they truly are, they can transform from something ordinary to something extraordinary. Collectors are always on the lookout for coins that combine scarcity and condition, and the 1992 South African 2-cent is a perfect example. When in perfect or near-perfect condition, these coins are considered extremely rare. Some have even been discovered to have minting errors, making them even more desirable among those who truly understand the market. Every detail counts. The color of the copper, the clarity of the design, the smoothness of the edges. These subtle factors can elevate the coin from being just a piece of change to a valuable collector's item. So, if you've been sitting on a few old coins, or even casually browsing a coin collection without realizing the potential treasures among them, pay attention. The excitement comes not just from the historical context or the beauty of the coin, but from the realization that something so small, so unassuming, can hold such incredible potential. It's like discovering a secret that's been hiding in plain sight for decades. And now, the moment you've been waiting for, the value of the 1992 South African 2-cent coin. While most coins from this era are common, rare finds in pristine condition have been known to fetch astonishing sums. In fact, collectors have valued some specimens at figures that could reach into the millions of dollars when sold to the right buyer. That's right, this small, unassuming coin, originally worth just 2 cents, can today be considered a treasure worth up to $4 million under certain circumstances. The next time you come across an old coin, don't dismiss it. What seems like an ordinary piece of metal could very well be a story, a piece of history, and yes, a fortune waiting to be rediscovered. That's the magic of coins. They carry the past, the artistry, and sometimes the unimaginable value into the present, waiting for someone with curiosity and appreciation to recognize it. Remember, coins like this are not just collectibles. They are conversation starters, history lessons, and for some, a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. So keep your eyes open, your hands ready, and your curiosity alive, because you never know when a 2-cent coin could turn into a multi-million-dollar story.